Hi everyone, I hope you're all well. I am so sorry about the video yesterday. Came through without any audio. So I'm setting the intention today for a reading for the highest and greatest good for the collective or anyone who views this video, hoping that you all can hear me. And as always, take what resonates and just leave the rest to one side. We are moving up to this full moon in Aries, and so powerful. It's the super moon. I think it's the fourth super moon. So we've been on this journey, this karmic journey. The full moon is in Aries, ruled by Mars, and the sun is in Libra, ruled by Venus. So again, it's these scales. It's a karmic choice point, a rebalancing. Maybe because Chiron is in Aries, and this is where the full moon is. So Chiron is the wounded healer, the sacred healer. So maybe old emotions coming to the surface that we have not healed, and we can be bleeding that, we can be projecting that in our outside world with things that may be triggering us. Also, what is coming through is our psychic protection. So we're being protected. Our psyche is protected. And how we can empower that is by not contaminating ourselves, by listening to anything that's fearful. Because when we start listening to it, that can creep in and it can start to invoke some fear within us, and that is a contamination of our psyche. So the angels are asking that we keep ourselves in a place of peace, and that is not to say that we don't know what's going on in the outside world. We would be deluded if we didn't know what was going on in the outside world. But being mindful of the energy we're putting out there into whatever is attracting our attention, making sure that we align ourselves before we start to put energy in whatever direction is there and could potentially knock us out of alignment. So we know it's going on, we know things are happening in the outside world. It's the energy we place there that is the healing, our healing and our protection, and the healing of whatever may be occurring in the outside world that could potentially contaminate our psyche with fear and block us from these powerful upgrades that are occurring at this time. So I'm setting the intention for a reading for the highest and greatest good for the collective, for anyone who views this video. There we have one. We have opportunity beckons. So this is the Four of Cups. The Magician, Merlin, has just stepped forward. So bringing that magic and that soul, he's bringing through a soul review. So when Merlin steps in, he really steps in and he goes deep within our soul. So there's a lot of cleansing going on. And the Star card, the healer. The base of the pack, we have the Eight of Pentacles, the Three of Swords, the Two of Wands. Okay. So there's a little bit of grief in this card. So grief may be coming to the surface as things are starting to change. We have Mars ruling Aries in this full moon. And so this Mars energy is one of the Tower. And it has been, that energy has been presenting itself to us. And it's things changing. It's things falling away and dissolving. And it can bring some sadness, it can bring some grief. Grief is a master teacher. It takes us to our knees. until we see that there is only love. So we may be going through some grief, because you heard my release then. We may be going through some grief as personally, and my friends also have lost a beautiful, beautiful friend. So we're going through this grief, and grief is a teacher. And it teaches us to really focus on the love and be gentle with ourselves, and to honour whatever may be coming up to the surface for us, but be mindful that when we're in a place of grief, we can project that out into our outside world, onto people. Maybe somebody triggers us and we're ultra sensitive, and this grief changes and shape shifts into anger or frustration. So grief is a master teacher, and on some level we're all feeling this grief, whether it's a grief of a change of life, whether it's a change of career, change of relationship, whatever's breaking down, wherever there is loss, because we've got also the Four of Cups, which is a card that is looking at what's not right in our lives, looking at missed opportunities. Maybe we should have done something differently. Maybe we feel that we have missed so many opportunities in our lives. And you can see there, he's looking over that balcony down on the ground, and there's the moon, signifying this powerful, powerful full moon that is growing, bringing through potent moon, Aries, Chiron, Libra, medicine, helping us to come into balance. So things may be feeling painful, challenging at this time. It's old emotion that we have suppressed that is coming up to be healed, and to do it in a way that is gentle, to use our crystals. And the amethyst crystal has just come through. It's an emotional, it transmutes old emotions and transmutes them into love and joy. Even walking through nature will present a gift for us, whether it is a rock that we can hold, and that rock will draw out any intrusions within our bodies. It soaks them up, and then we bury the rock when we've done our healing. Taking note of what's happening in nature. This is a powerful time of the turning of the wheel, and connecting with nature, how it's now going to sleep and letting go. The trees are letting go of the leaves. It's not grasping on, it's allowing them to fall away. Nature is receding, it's going back into the ground, into the root, and to really learn from that, because energetically that's what we're doing also. From the rushing around in summer to the actual slowing down now through this time, and we're in this in-between time of letting go of what is no longer serving us, and stepping into the reality that we have been manifesting and visualizing. So there's an in-between, and this Four of Cups is one of not feeling right inside. Sometimes we can't put those feelings into words, they're just there, and it is to really honour them, not suppress them, allow them to surface, do our self-healing during this time of these change of seasons, calling in Archangel Michael for his protection, as there's so much going on in the outside world that really could start to block us. We start listening to the fear, and it takes us away from what's going on within us. Sometimes that's a form of escapism, because we don't really want to face the feelings that we have inside. So it's time of, we're going through this change of seasons, and the change of seasons are the law of the spiritual law, because they can never change. We can never swap those seasons around. They're going to change, and we change and move with them and shapeshift with them. The spiritual laws, and this is the energy of this full moon. The full moon in Aries, the sun in Libra. So the full moon and the sun become opposite and start to communicate. So the moon is communicating her feelings through Libra, and the sun is communicating desires, is the desire that we have within us, to the moon. And with Chiron being in Aries, our feelings that we have not healed could be coming up through the I am wound, and communicating with the moon and Libra. So there's some real karmic cleansing going on, to be gentle with ourselves during this time. And with this full moon in Aries, it's the fire, it's the warrior. Libra is an earth sign. Mars is fire. And when the air and fire are in balance, it builds a beautiful energy. But if there's too much air, and air is our thoughts, so when we're having too many thoughts of injustices that have been put onto us, that becomes destructive to the I am. So it's finding that balance of air and fire, so that we are able to really focus on our passions, focus on our relationships, and sending healing into any relationships that may be out of balance or out of harmony or out of alignment, realizing that nobody out there is at fault. This is a karmic time that we've all come to revisit our karma, and to play it out, and to work it out, and to heal it. So being mindful our mind doesn't start to overthink and start to really go in enemy mode, that somebody's hurt me, and looking at all the things that we may not like around that situation or that person, but realizing that's a mirror. That's our perception, and our perception is a slither, because we are viewing that person through the lens of our beliefs, of our emotions. When they're healed, when we're in an alignment, we see that everyone is working on their own path, and creating whatever they're creating on their path, to remind us during this time. And Mahat, the goddess, the cosmic goddess, standing there with those scales, reminding us, if we hold anything in our heart, any guilt, any conflict, whatever, if we've hammered our heart, that's going to weigh heavy with this it's measured and weighed with a feather. So that is like a stone. So that we will come back, our soul will come back, and we'll go through the learning, we'll meet those souls, we'll come into contact, we'll do this dance, this karmic dance, until we look into each other's eyes and say, I can't do this, I can't hurt you. I have, my heart is full of compassion for you. That's when the karma is done. And sometimes that can be really challenging. And the challenge is holding on to that angst, that upset, whatever it may be. That's the challenge, because we will keep projecting it out, and it will come back with the same message or the same pattern, the same lesson, until we get it that I am nobody's judge. We will all meet our maker, and the best I can do is have responsibility for myself. So again, we're being taken back into the I am, and when the I am is healed, when it is flowing, magic happens. And this is why Merlin's here doing this shifting within us. We have magic happening and occurring in this moment. We can hold on to the pain and the suffering that has been projected onto us, or we can put it down and know that that is that person's perception, or that is my perception of a situation that I only know from that's reflecting from within me. So as Merlin steps in and he starts to do the soul review, working his magic within us, doing the beautiful cleansing, so that we can connect and we can hear those divine messages, that we can see with clarity and clear perception. We can look into that reflection that is looking back at us with love. And so it's a powerful time, a very magical time of really calling on our guardian angels who are so close to us and are listening, and are always listening. It's just that sometimes maybe we are not listening to their messages, because they will be saying, just love, everything's going to be okay, just love. And sometimes our shadow side wants to push that to one side and point the finger all around us of everything that's wrong. And that is our shadow side going into protection, but really it's causing destruction. It's causing more karma. So befriend our spiritual, our shadow, by letting it know we're okay now. We have a divine force that we are connecting with now. Merlin, Archangel Raziel, all that divine magic that works and comes through our hearts when we're in harmony, with the cosmos, when our heartbeat is the same as the cosmos and Mother Earth, and we all attune together in our own unique way, creating magic. It's far happier, joyful to focus on creating magic in our lives than to focus on what is going around, or what maybe somebody else's opinions are of us or anyone else. It's far easier to come back in and start to craft our magic, which is we're all waking up to the magician within us, the high priestess within us, the mystic within us. We're waking up to that, and this is time from, we are waking up memory from Lemuria, where angels and men and women were as one. So this is the mergence of this full moon in Aries, the sun in Libra, ruled by Mars and Venus, the divine masculine, the divine feminine, which we all own within us, merging together and becoming, and just becoming, being, not being a over aggressive protector or a over nurturer. Being, coming in, using our intuition to guide us, using our magic to create divine creations on earth. So regardless, and we know what's going on in the outside world, we would be deluded if we did not know. And it isn't light and fluffy. And this is our time of healing, of knowing that nothing and no one can hurt us unless we think they can. And then we open the floodgates then, because we gave all our power away to whatever situation we're fearing. So we're being upgraded to be able to rise above and to see with clarity what's going on, to do what's right for us, to stand in our own sovereignty, to be aware of what we place in our bodies, what we take in and digest into our digestive system, and Aries rules the head. It's the first sign of the zodiac. So we are born, majority of the time, our head comes through the birth canal, and so our head is the first connection to our world, to this realm. So what are we placing in our heads to really rewire our heads, those pathways in our mind that are so used to going outside of us for answers or for guidance, bringing those pathways in, coming into our hearts, creating pathways that come from our head into our heart, and bringing ourselves into alignment that way. Those scales of justice coming in, and the law of cause and effect. We have the wheel of the seasons that change. It's the same as the law of cause and effect. Whatever we put out there is going to come back. So being mindful of that during this powerful time, this portal that we're moving through, because this full moon is going to take us through the portal of the eclipse season. So it's a potent time. And then we have the star. This is healing, this deck. A powerful time of healing, breaking those chains of the past, knowing that if any emotions are coming to the surface and we're projecting them onto one person, maybe it's a grief of a change that's occurring, know that grief, that person is triggering it, that grief is already within us. And grief is coming up. We've all faced and gone through and are going through grief in some way, shape or form. And grief is a master teacher. It teaches us how strong love is, how powerful love is, and teaches us that love is all there is, because when we strip everything away, we only feel love for that person that has passed away. We only feel love for that person that may be no longer in our lives. When everything is healed, we take the wisdom and we see that everything is love. And this is us moving up to the 5th dimension. So this is a time of healing and wishing on a star. You know, these full moons are about endings. The full moon comes to a completion. It holds all this energy, and then it sheds that energy onto us all. So we're going to be receiving some pretty powerful medicine from the full moon and the sun. So as it sheds its blessings upon us, Aries is the beginning sign of the zodiac, the new beginnings, the motivation. So from the heartache, from whatever we may be going through, and each of us will be going through it in a different way, but we will be experiencing something that keeps presenting itself. So as we are experiencing this, we crack open and we start to see the learning in everything. We start to see the wisdom. We start to, Aries, the I Am, starts to give us the motivation to start on our soul path with everything that we need within us, within the I Am, without carrying extra heavy load of the karma that we have all gained. So when we strip it down to the I Am, it's just being, observing, and knowing that if anything does trigger us, that it's coming up at this time for us to really sit with and allow it to move through us, going into nature, seeing the trees, just letting go, not gripping hold of every leaf for fear, because as that leaf falls to the ground, it fertilizes the tree, it fertilizes the roots of that tree, and then in spring, where that leaf was, a brand new one grows. So there's a cycle, this cause and effect, this seasons, this change of seasons are spiritual laws that can never be changed. However we try and bury our head in the sand, things are going to move forward. And as we adjust and we shapeshift with the seasons, and we shapeshift with what's going on within our bodies, instead of projection, holding ourselves rigid in a dense energy, knowing it's there, really, but not letting it into our psyche, holding ourselves in alignment and emanating love wherever we feel or intuit love is needed, and it's needed all around the world. And then we have the 8 of Pentacles, chipping away, at that masterpiece of our I am presence, chipping away at the dense energy that we have carried, heaviness that we have carried over lifetimes, chipping away. And there's the divine masculine, the divine feminine, as we chip away at everything that is out of harmony within us and all around us, above us, to the heart of Mother Earth, coming into harmony, moving and creating the masterpiece, working. And we've done a lot of hard work. So this is the masterpiece, the divine masculine, the divine feminine within, that we are creating. And as we create it within, it then starts to come through our heart into the plasma, into the energy field, into, we're bringing, and the moon today moves into Pisces. So this is very feeling, emotions. So the moon is conjunct Saturn, who is retrograding in Pisces, asking us to bring that spiritual essence into this physical realm, connecting to our guides, our angels. At this, the veil is so thin, connecting to that guidance and allowing it to come through our hearts, bringing it in from spirit, from the fifth, from the higher dimensions, from the heavenly dimensions, through here, and bringing it into matter. Saturn in retrograding in Pisces has helped us to dissolve old beliefs and doubts that we may have placed on ourselves and our spirituality and our gifts. It's crumbling. Those doubts are dissolving because this energy is becoming stronger within us until it moves from us out with every heartbeat into our electrical field that's all around us. And each time we have a heartbeat and we bring through that spiritual essence, it becomes matter. Everything is first a thought form. Everything comes from spirit until we bring it into this physical realm, and we are now connecting to the galactic core, the galactic masters of light, of the star constellations that we are looking up and connecting with in the evening. They're causing activations within us without us even maybe realizing. We may feel it, we may zone out for a few moments while that occurs, but then we come charged up with that activation, and it starts to come through us as sacred intelligence, sacred wisdom. So there's powerful energies occurring. We are crafting the masterpiece of the divine masculine, the divine feminine within us, from the memory that we have of Lemuria, from the memory of Atlantis. They are still existing in the higher realms. So we are, as our consciousness rises, we start to tap in to those memories that we have from those times. And then the Two of Wands, open your heart, let this light come in and allow it to guide you. The divine light to guide you in love, regardless of what anybody else may say. Love is the strongest force in the universe. It's the healer. It dissolves karma. It dissolves pain. It dissolves when we place any conflict within our heart and view it through our heart, not hold it in our heart, not hold any pain in our heart, actually view it with love, it dissolves. So the Two of Wands is asking us to spread our wings, that there is divine support all around us, coming in, guiding us. Our loved ones that have crossed over are here. We can see them as clear as if they were standing in front of us. We can hear their voices, we can hear their laughter, we can see the bright light all around them, letting us know that there is nothing to fear, absolutely nothing to fear, to open our hearts, to relax, to allow that light of our hearts that's coming from our higher heart, dissolving and merging into our physical heart and projecting out. So if there's any kind of feelings within your heart, all resolved, unresolved, grief may be stuck there, and it can be really painful emotionally and physically, to really take some time and place your hands on your heart. Allow the healing from your palm chakras to dissolve and move into your heart space, calming your heart and affirming that we are safe, we are protected, and everything is going to be okay. Our soul knows the way. Our head may not, but our soul knows the way, and to trust that. So I'm asking now, put a message for the gods, goddesses and angels for some guidance to please come through to the highest and greatest good. There we go. The goddess of the shadow. What we perceive is our shadow holds treasures. Not to fear it. Absolutely not fear it. Our shadow is an accumulation of everything that we've been through, that's challenged us, hurt us, that's knocked our confidence. There's treasures in there because we are not that person in our past. We've worked with our shadow, we've done the shadow work, and we have discovered great treasures there that majority we can see that everything really is makes sense now, because we will all be working in a way. If we're healers, we will be healing and working in that energy of holding space for anyone who is going through grief or has gone through any kind of abuse in any way, any kind of trauma. We can hold the space there without any judgment on either side. And so there isn't hidden treasures in there, in whatever we're going through in this moment, hidden treasures that will benefit us as we move in and through this portal into the reality. And then the goddess of beauty, wondrous beauty, to see the beauty in nature, to see the beauty in our lives, to see the beauty in ourselves. So the goddess of beauty is stepping forward, helping us to make this transition through these seasons, through these changes that are occurring. So I'm sending so much love. Have a beautiful, beautiful day. And thank you so much for listening. God bless. Thank you.